Mushroom Wonderland.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Hilliard from Mushroom Wonderland, back with another video, and this is another winter video. We're right here in the middle of winter time, and it's kind of a slow time for mushrooms. They're getting a little bit farther and fewer in between, but I still continue to run across mushrooms. I've got my eyes trained on the ground, so I'm always looking for mushrooms. And so in this video, we're going to look at several mushrooms that I've seen in the past 2 weeks growing right here in the Pacific Northwest. I'll help to identify them for you and tell you if they're edible or not. My last few foraging videos, I just walk through the woods and I kind of identify everything that I come across. But on this video, it's a little bit more of a compilation of mushrooms that I've ran across in the past couple weeks, growing here in the PNW, in between the snow and the heavy rainstorms. There's still some mushrooms growing out here. Some of my favorite edible wild mushrooms are in this video. Hedgehog mushrooms, check those out. Also some poisonous ones that might be a look-alike to a mushroom that you know. So that is pretty important to know, the ones that are dangerous look-alikes. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who's a subscriber. If you're new to this channel, hit subscribe. I'm doing this every week. I'm putting out a new mushroom-related video, trying to cater here to the PNW, but really a lot of this mushroom information is good anywhere in the world. And you know, hit that thumbs up button if you're getting value out of this video, and leave a positive comment. Tell me where you're from, tell me what your favorite mushroom is. So let's go out into the winter in the PNW and check out some of these wild mushrooms that you still might be finding growing around your area. Thanks for joining, come on. There's kind of few species that are growing out here right now, but there are a few choice species if you happen to run across them, and I'm pretty excited because I just ran across some beautiful mushrooms growing right here, kind of in a big fairy ring pattern, and they're very orange, quite a big troop of them. So let's take a look at these growing here. It actually just snowed here like yesterday, but it melted away. But it's been that cold and the snow level's been really low, so I'm kind of surprised to see these here. And honestly, I've never found a flush quite this beautiful and perfect and big, so super excited. Gonna collect these today, but let's check these out. I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can see right here, they kind of start here and they run along and they run along. There's more down here. Beautiful. Oh, there's a bunch back there too. Amazing. So this is what you call the hedgehog mushroom. So the local hedgehog here in the PNW. So let's take a look at this. It's got kind of a funnel cap on it. You see that? They're really kind of dry looking, and they get lighter towards the outside of the margin there, towards the edge of the cap. We're gonna cut one of these guys off. And let's take a look underneath. Wow, and look at that. Not gills, not pores, but we've got beautiful teeth. So this is called a tooth fungi. So see that? All these little teeth. Beautiful, beautiful example of Hydnum, or the hedgehog mushroom, and you can see why they would call that a hedgehog, right? Look at that. These are absolutely delectable, edible, and there's quite a troop here, so pretty excited about that. From what I understand, all these Hydnums are edible and good edibles, so there's not really a dangerous look-alike amongst these hedgehog mushrooms. There's a few different varieties of hedgehogs, and they're all good eating. Look at those, man, super pretty. So I'm really excited to find all of these. Look at all these, just kind of growing in big clusters and troops all along here. Some real healthy big ones, some more real healthy big ones, more right back there, and I'm seeing a big huge flush of them right back here in the woods. Look at that. Those guys just stick out like a sore thumb. So beautiful. Hedgehogs everywhere. These have got to be one of my favorite wild edible mushrooms. So I mean, look at this cluster of them. Would you look at that? Gorgeous. Very exciting. So yeah, man, this is a healthy patch of them. And look at all of these guys. So beautiful. Probably clean up all these pine needles and stuff before I put them in my container. I'm at work right now, so I'm gonna have to find a bag in my work van, put all these in, but gorgeous flush. This is Western Washington near the Puget Sound, kind of on the edge of the Hood Canal near Seebeck, Washington. So, and I've found hedgehogs in this area before. It's probably been 15 or 20 years since I ran across a significant amount of them. And so this is an exciting deal, pretty exciting deal. So there you go, the hedgehog mushroom. Look at how beautiful this hedgehog mushroom is. So these are a really good edible, no real lookalikes. They've got this kind of a sherbet color with a pale margin, real prolific teeth growing underneath there. The stipe is solid, and you know, you might think these are chanterelles when you first come upon them. Actually, the stipe kind of snaps pretty easy, a little bit like a russula or something. But you might see these and think they're chanterelles growing, but once you see those teeth, it's unmistakable. You ran across a different, and in my personal opinion, a better wild edible mushroom. So awesomeness. We're gonna collect these up. So I noticed some mushrooms growing here. This new build, new construction. I do carpentry during the day, and I noticed mushrooms on some of these job sites. And if you look here, we've got a whole bunch of these guys growing in this hard packed dirt. They're liking this coldness, and look at this kind of reddish brown color, and kind of a brown color stipe. And so when we look in here, you know, it's going to be hollow inside. It's often got little chambers in there. And this is a fungi that is a ascomycete, or it's in the division Ascomycota, and it is in the family of a Pizziziae. And so this is Gyromitra influa, and this is known as the false hooded morel. They do grow a little bit like a morel in the way that they're an ascomyte. So they produce their spores just on the surface of this weird kind of leathery surface. And just like the Helvella vespertina, it lands in the ascomycete category. And asco in ancient Greek meant wine sack, so it reminded them of the lining of a wine sack, which would be made from like a sheep's stomach. So if you can see that. So this mushroom is the hooded false morel, or the hooded elfin saddle. And so I guess it could look like a saddle that an elf might ride on. You know, you see that? You know, kind of have this characteristic, and there's no gills or pores or anything. It's like a cup fungus, you know. There's nothing under here. It just produces spores right on the surface of this stuff in these little cells called ascuses. And so this one, just like its counterpart in the spring, the Gyromitra esculenta, this one is considered toxic, and it contains gyromitrin, which is a compound when it's metabolized in the human body, it becomes a monomethylhydrazine, which is used in rocket fuel. And so these are known to like make you pretty sick, and potentially could give you seizures and nervous system disorders. So definitely not one that you want to be eating and messing with. But it does look a bit different from the Helvella vespertina. That one you could maybe confuse this with. The Helvella is an edible one, but these ones containing that gyromitrin, no good. So they're growing everywhere too. They love this hard packed stuff. So yeah, there's just tons of these. So Gyromitra, kind of a cool looking family, but definitely one you don't want to mess with. Check this out. Look down on the ground and I see mushrooms laying all over the place. Beautiful oyster tree here in December, although these are no longer any good to eat. Pleurotus, there was a really big flush here that went unnoticed apparently, or else somebody probably would have picked those. Those are great eating. Really the common wild edible mushroom, but they're still out here in December. Although you can see they're laying all over the ground. There's a bunch growing all up on the side of this tree. So these are a little bit darker colored. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, definitely slimy, but these are yuck. But these are your Pleurotus species. And you might be able to find a flush that's still young enough. That was a gorgeous flush about a week ago. Would have been awesome. So there you go, Pleurotus ostriatus. Sometimes you see mushrooms laying on the trail like this, and it's like, hey, look up, dummy. Look up on that tree. Whoa. Lots of them, so pretty cool. And keep in mind, if you're gonna eat old rotten mushrooms, you can get food poisoning from eating rotten food. So, you know, although these mushrooms aren't poisonous, eating rotten food is bad for you. So if they look like that, just go ahead and leave them behind. Take a look at these big boys. These things are huge and they're kind of hiding under the duff, but you can see under there. Look at how big these are. Let's see. Let's just see what we got. You look at the size of those guys. Those are huge. Pull one up. Look how big that mushroom is. That's a big boy. So it's a big mushroom. Look at that short little stem for that big mushroom. That's how it gets its name. The short-footed russula, or russula brevipes. Brevipes means short-footed. In Russia, they like to eat these, and they pickle them and stuff. Eastern Europe, they like eating these. America, we're not the biggest fans of them, but they do get parasitized by Hypomyces lactiflorum, and they become lobster mushrooms occasionally. But David Aurora describes these as the most boring mushrooms in the forest, but they're huge, so that's really definitely something cool going for them. And yeah, so russula brevipes, you could definitely eat those if you want. Just kind of bland flavored. Not a lot going on until they get parasitized by that Hypomyces lactiflorum. They'll become delicious lobster mushrooms, but I've never seen a lobster mushroom quite that big. These things are massive. They're probably 10 inches across, maybe 12 inches across, that big one. So there you go, russula brevipes. All right, going along, and I look down and I see these little clusters here at the base of this these conifer trees, kind of laying in some pine needle duff, and a few nice little clusters. And so, Gunner, stop crying, dude, stop. And so these are a beautiful little wild edible mushroom here in the Northwest, and it gets the common name winter chanterelle or yellowfoot. I'll show you why it's called a yellowfoot. These are actually growing in quite a cluster. You can see kind of how yellow that base of the stem is. And I'm just gonna pop this little cluster out of here. So you see that? They got really they get yellower towards the base. These ones aren't especially exaggerated, but some of them are very yellow towards the base. And then when you look at this mushroom, it's often got this weird crease in the middle of the stem, and the stem is not round. You know, they're often kind of like rectangular shaped, if that's a good descriptor. They can be kind of flat, and so you know, they always get lighter down here towards the bottom of the stipe. And so although this is called a winter chanterelle, it's actually in a different genus than the Pacific golden chanterelle that you're probably used to. This one is in the genus Craterellus. So this is a Craterellus tubeiformis, and this is a wonderful wild edible mushroom, real common late season mushroom here in the PNW. They often have this little dimple in the cap. They can be this color or be even darker, but you see it's like a really funnel shape. This one even has kind of like a little hole right in the center, and they'll often be like that. And then if you look, it's got these veins or gills that are kind of decurrent. You see how they come down the stipe like that. And they're pretty bendable. They're actually kind of like a hollow stipe, and they're pretty tough little mushrooms. They don't fall apart too easy. They take a little bit of a beating. So yeah, these are a great one. The yellowfoot or the winter chanterelle, Craterellus tubeiformis. Here's some growing. And this is what they look like. So you know, kind of like a little belly button. And usually they're growing in a big troops. So you know, I could see some more that were growing over here somewhere. Oh yeah, a bunch down in there. So whenever you see some of these, stop and take a better look. Oh, this is a pretty big one. Let's get this guy. So look at the size of that guy. That's pretty big. So beautiful Craterellus tubeiformis or winter chanterelles, yellowfoot chanterelles, you know, Washington State, Western Washington. So these ones are really good and like stir fry. I make like yakisoba and toss these in there. And I personally get upset stomach from eating cantharellus or regular chanterelles, but these don't do it. All right, so we're gonna collect these up, and yeah, I'm putting them in a plastic bag. I know somebody's gonna be in the comments, never use a plastic bag. Well, hey, that's all I got right now. And this is one of the newfangled ones that are like recyclable, so I think there's paper products in it. Either way, it's they're not gonna be in there forever. I do this, it's okay to do this. And for the rest of these, I'll probably cut these out. Oh, so look at those beautiful yellowfoot chanterelles, or just winter chanterelles, and they're growing in these clumps and these clusters like this. Good find. So so yeah, these will make a nice little stir fry. Toss them in your omelet or something. Yeah, good wild edible here. And there's been times when I found like so many of these. We found just like 20 pounds of them. Okay, so these are not winter chanterelles. So I originally thought they were, but they're not. They're kind of a look-like, I think, a little Cortinarius of some type. Oh, over here we got a Stropharia ambigua. It's kind of laying on its side there. But if you keep your eyes open this time of year, man, you are bound to come across some of these winter chanterelles. Oh, look at right there. There's a little Picepes badius, a little black-footed polypore growing on that stick. And this is a hot little area for mushroom growth. So, what do you think, boy? He's super impatient. He just sits there and whines the whole time. So, sorry if you hear that in the background. I don't know if it annoys you like it annoys me, but I hear it all day. So yeah, that's my boy Gunner. He's a kind of a whiner. So anyways, I'm gonna keep moving on, but Got a nice couple handfuls of winter chanterelles for the dinner table. So go get some. Right on, so thanks for joining on that video. Like I said, come on next week to Mushroom Wonderland. If you hit that notification bell, it should tell you when there's a new video released, and I'm gonna try to keep a video coming out around Sunday, but don't mark my words on that quite yet. Life is busy, doing the life thing, doing the business thing, doing the family thing, doing the YouTube thing. So life's busy, but I guarantee I'm gonna put out at least one video every week, even continuing in the dark days of winter. Thanks for joining. Once again, my name is Aaron Hilliard for Mushroom Wonderland. Take care, my people. Much love.